Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Journalism School and to the Lukas and Lynton Prizes. This is, of the myriad prizes given out at this school, this is the only one that I was involved with administering before I was dean, because I was, as Arlene says, a friend of Tony's and one of the group of friends who organized this award program. With the help of a lot of other friends and of course, the Lynton family. I didn't ever have the pleasure of knowing Mark Lynton. Many people in the room did, but I knew Tony well, and he would have been very happy, I think, to see his friends and colleagues gathering to do what we're here this evening to do. I guess a seasonally themed question one might ask is, how is this award ceremony different from all other award ceremonies? And part of the answer is that we make the awardees sing for their supper in the form of having a panel discussion with a distinguished moderator, who this year is Taylor Branch, who I'll introduce in a minute. The reason we do that specifically has to do with Tony, who felt that, particularly in nonfiction writing, there wasn't enough of a structured conversation about our craft, and there needs to be more. So we use this program as a pretext to do that, and indeed, Arlene has sort of spread this concept to several of our other award ceremonies as well. It reminds us all of why we're giving these awards. In addition to honoring outstanding achievement, it's to try to, and I think we've succeeded at doing this, create a community of people who do this kind of work, who care about this kind of work, and are always engaged in thinking about how it can be done better. There's several former winners in the audience here. I see Diane McWhorter. Any other winners that I'm not seeing? So that's proof that this isn't just one evening in your life. This is you're always invited, and it's part of a conversation that goes on through the years. I want to just mention also that this event is co-sponsored by the Nieman Foundation at Harvard. Tony was a Nieman Fellow once, and the Columbia Journalism School. The Nieman Foundation director, or curator they're called for some strange Harvard reason, is Bob Giles, who is here. This is Bob's last year as curator of the Nieman Foundation, and so I want to sort of toast him with my Poland Springs water. He'll come up in a minute for a wonderful run and best wishes for his future. And next year, of course, you'll be at the Cambridge ceremony, but also your wonderful successor, Anne-Marie Lipinski, formerly editor of the Chicago Tribune, will be there presiding. So that's you know, it's always a tribute to somebody who's a leader of something if they can attract a great successor and make the job look easy and fun, which you've done. Since you and I both have to raise money, you know that every time it seems like you talk to a donor, they always say, well, now I want you to partner with another institution. And you sort of, but this is, honestly, this is a case where being partners has been fun and easy, and that's incredibly rare. So thanks, Bob, thanks for everything over these years of the prize. I'm going to introduce, though not welcome to the stage, Taylor Branch, and then he'll come up and do most of the hosting duties in a couple minutes. I don't really need to introduce him very much because you all have read his work and know who he is. He's known first and foremost as the author of the definitive biography of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Spread out over 3 volumes and just completed. And we think soon to be an HBO series, but even without that, it's a really monumental piece of life's achievement, piece of journalistic biography. I happen to know a lot of other things about Taylor, so I could go on and on. For instance, nobody here may know this, but he and I had the same high school American history teacher in at different high schools at different times in the South. A man named Emmett Wright Jr., who sort of set us off on our course in life. Later, we both worked as young oppressed journalists for the Washington Monthly, which was kind of our journalism school. So I've been reading Taylor's work my whole life, and there's a lot of it that's wonderful besides the monumental King biography. One other thing I'll note about Taylor that is a very rare happenstance in the life of a journalist, which is that in his younger days, he had a thankless political organizing assignment, which is running the George McGovern presidential campaign in Texas. And he was co-director, and the other co-director was Bill Clinton. So another strand in his career has been the Clinton strand. And he just wrote a book about a long series of very searching and private interviews that he had with President Clinton while he was president, probably the most, real-time access any president has ever given a journalist, with the possible exception of Edmund Morris, and it drove him mad, and Taylor's still here and in one piece. So you'll be seeing him in a minute. I'm before exiting the stage, going to present the J. Anthony Lukas Book Award. This award is presented to a book-length work of narrative nonfiction on an American topic that exemplifies the literary grace, the commitment to serious research, and the social concern that characterize the distinguished work of the award's namesake. It is awarded this year to Eliza Griswold for the 10th parallel, Dispatches from the Fault Line Between Christianity and Islam. The publisher is Farrar, Straus & Giroux. Eliza well, let me read the citation on the prize, and then I'll tell you why she isn't here. She has a very good excuse. Eliza Griswold examines the conflict between Christianity and Islam along the geographical line 700 miles north of the equator, where the two beliefs most frequently collide. More than half the world's Muslims live along this line, as do 60% of the world's Christians. Beautifully written and impressively reported, this is a brilliantly original construct for examining one of the most important, perhaps the most important, conflicts in the world today. Eliza is currently in Pakistan, where she's kind of tied down by events and is there as a journalist and is being advised not to move for obvious reasons. So we salute her in absence and invite her editor, Paul, where are you, to come on up and get the award on her behalf. You have to turn this way. And she'll be interested in that too.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to the sponsors of the award and to the journalism school. Eliza, as Nick said, is in Pakistan, and if I know Eliza, she's somehow chasing that story, even if she's in the hotel. The aftermath of bin Laden's, the killing of bin Laden, is something that will have an effect on the ground there, and if anyone can get that story, Eliza Griswold can. The book that she gave the subtitle, Dispatches from the Fault Line Between Christianity and Islam, has the title The 10th Parallel for the line that she follows in the book, but it could just as well have had the title Common Ground, because the drama that she is working out of the book is very similar to the one that J. Anthony Lukas worked out in his classic book. It's the coexistence of people of very different beliefs in a similar geographic space. Eliza tries to make this point at the end of the book. Religious strife where Christians